Before I think about my responsibilities, before I remember my worries, before I check my phone, before I listen to the voices of the world, I want to hear your voice. Before I begin this day, I want to begin with you. Jesus, you are the first thought I want to carry, the first name I want to speak, and the foundation upon which I want to build this entire day. Father, thank you for giving me another morning. Thank you for the breath in my lungs, the strength in my body, and the opportunity to begin again. I may not know everything this day will bring, but I know you will be with me through it. I don't need to see the entire road when I know the one who walks beside me. Jesus, I place this morning into your mighty hands. Take control of my thoughts. Take control of my words. Take control of my decisions. Take control of my emotions. When I am tempted to worry, remind me that you are greater than anything I could face. When fear tries to enter my heart, remind me that I do not walk alone. When uncertainty makes me question tomorrow, help me trust you today. Lord, let your name be greater in my mind than my problems. Sometimes I wake up and immediately remember everything that needs to be done. I remember responsibilities, unfinished tasks, financial concerns, family situations, difficult conversations, and things I cannot control. But today I choose a different beginning. I choose prayer before panic. I choose faith before fear. I choose surrender before striving. I choose Jesus before everything else. Start your day by putting Jesus first, because the way you begin your morning can influence the direction of your entire day. Before the noise begins, before responsibilities demand your attention, before you reach for your phone and allow the world to fill your mind with information, pause and turn your heart toward Jesus. Speak his name. Thank him for another morning. Recognize that the breath you have today is a gift, and let your first moments become an expression of gratitude rather than anxiety. You do not have to know everything that will happen today, because you can begin the day knowing who is with you. When Jesus becomes the first focus of your morning, you remind yourself that your life is not controlled by circumstances. There may be challenges waiting for you, decisions that need to be made, responsibilities that require your attention, and situations you cannot predict. Yet none of these things are greater than God. Starting with Jesus changes the position of your heart. Instead of allowing problems to become the first thing you think about, you allow faith to become your foundation. Instead of waking up expecting another difficult day, you wake up believing that God can guide you through whatever comes. There is something powerful about giving God the first moments of your day. It is not about following a perfect routine or saying complicated words. It is about relationship. Talk to Jesus honestly. Tell him what is on your heart. Tell him where you feel weak. Tell him what you are afraid of. Tell him what you are hoping for. Thank him for the things you often take for granted. When you begin speaking with God, you create space to remember that you are not carrying life by yourself. Jesus, before I make my plans, I give you my plans. Before I make my decisions, I ask for your wisdom. Before I respond to people, I ask you to guide my words. Before I face difficulties, I ask you to strengthen my heart. I do not want to rush into this day depending only on my own understanding. I want to acknowledge you and trust you to direct my steps. Putting Jesus first also means putting his character before your emotions. You may wake up feeling discouraged, irritated, tired, or uncertain. Those feelings are real, but they do not have to control your behavior. When you place Jesus first, you can choose patience when frustration rises. You can choose forgiveness when someone disappoints you. You can choose kindness when others are difficult. You can choose peace when circumstances become stressful. Your morning prayer becomes more than words. It becomes a decision to carry Christ's love into the way you live. Do not underestimate the power of a surrendered morning. A few quiet moments with God can remind you of what truly matters. The world may tell you to chase success, approval, possessions, recognition, and comfort, but Jesus reminds you that your soul matters. Your relationship with God matters. Your character matters. The way you treat people matters. The peace you carry matters. When you put Jesus first, you also learn to release the pressure of having to control everything. There will always be situations beyond your ability to manage. You cannot control every person's opinion, every outcome, every opportunity, or every unexpected event, but you can surrender those things to God. You can say, Lord, I trust you with what I cannot control. That simple surrender can change the way you walk through the day. Perhaps you are entering this morning with a burden that nobody else knows about. Perhaps you are worried about your family, your future, your finances, your work, or a decision you must make. Bring it to Jesus before you carry it through the day. You do not need to hide your concerns from him. He already knows what is in your heart. Let prayer become the place where fear is exchanged for faith and confusion is brought before the one who sees the whole picture. Jesus should not simply be the first name you speak in the morning. He should influence everything that follows. Let him guide your priorities, your conversations, your choices, and your responses. Ask yourself throughout the day, Does this reflect the person God is calling me to become? That question can bring wisdom into moments when emotions want to take control. Today, choose to begin differently. Before checking messages, pray. Before worrying about what could go wrong, thank God for what is already right. Before thinking about everything you need to accomplish, remember the one who gave you another day. Before allowing yesterday's failures to speak over your future, listen to God's truth. Put Jesus first, not because every day will be easy, but because you need His presence on the difficult days as much as you need Him on the joyful ones. Let your morning begin with surrender, gratitude, prayer, and faith. Let your heart say, Jesus, this day belongs to you. Guide me, strengthen me, protect me, and teach me to walk in your ways. And when the day becomes busy, return to that first decision. Remember the name you spoke when the morning was quiet. Remember the peace you felt when you surrendered your plans. Remember that you are not walking through this day alone. Keep Jesus at the center, and let every step become an opportunity to trust Him more deeply. Surrender your mind, plans, and day to God by recognizing that you do not have to carry every responsibility, fear, decision, and uncertainty by yourself. Each morning gives you another opportunity to place your entire day into God's hands before the demands of life begin. Instead of waking up and immediately thinking about everything that could go wrong, pause and remember that God is already present in the day ahead. He knows what you will face, who you will meet, what decisions you will make, and what challenges may come. You may not know what is ahead, but you can trust the one who does. Surrender begins in the mind. Your thoughts can become crowded before your feet even touch the floor. You may begin thinking about yesterday's mistakes, today's responsibilities, tomorrow's uncertainty, or problems that seem impossible to solve. But you do not have to allow those thoughts to take control. Bring them before God. Tell Him what is troubling you. Ask Him to give you wisdom, peace, patience, and strength. Instead of letting fear write the story of your morning, allow faith to remind you that God is greater than anything you are facing. Lord, I surrender my mind to you today. I surrender every anxious thought, every fearful expectation, every negative assumption, and every question that has no answer yet. Help me think with wisdom and see my circumstances through the eyes of faith. When my thoughts become overwhelming, bring me back to your presence. Remind me that I do not have to solve everything at once. Give me grace for this moment and strength for the next step. Surrendering your plans does not mean you stop planning or working toward your goals. It means you recognize that your plans are not the highest authority over your life. You can make plans while remaining open to God's direction. You can work hard while trusting Him with the results. You can have dreams while allowing Him to redirect you when necessary. Sometimes the path you expected will change, and when it does, you can trust that God has not lost control. There may be doors you desperately want to open, opportunities you believe you need, or outcomes you have already imagined in your mind. Give them to God. Ask Him to close what needs to be closed and open what is right for you. If something does not happen according to your timing, resist the temptation to believe that everything is falling apart. Sometimes waiting is part of preparation. Sometimes a delay protects you from something you cannot yet see. Sometimes God is working in ways that are invisible to you. Surrender also means releasing your need to control other people. You cannot control how someone thinks, how they respond, whether they understand you, or whether they choose to change. You can love them, pray for them, speak truth with grace, and maintain healthy boundaries, but you cannot carry responsibility for choices that belong to someone else. Give those relationships to God. Ask Him to give you wisdom about what to say, when to speak, when to remain silent, and when to step away. Father, I surrender my family to you. I surrender the people I love and the situations I cannot fix. Protect them, guide them, and work in their lives according to your wisdom. Help me love without trying to control. Help me pray without becoming consumed by fear. Help me trust that you can work where I cannot. Surrendering your day also means surrendering your schedule. You may have a list of things you want to accomplish, but unexpected events can change everything. Someone may need your help. A plan may fail. A conversation may take longer than expected. An opportunity may appear that you never anticipated. Instead of becoming frustrated every time life interrupts your plans, ask God whether there is something He wants you to learn, notice, or do in that moment. Lord, order my steps today. If my plans need to change, give me flexibility. If I need to wait, give me patience. If I need to act, give me courage. If I need to speak, give me wisdom. If I need to remain silent, give me self-control. Let my schedule serve your purpose rather than becoming a source of pressure. There is freedom in realizing that you are not responsible for controlling the entire day. Your responsibility is to walk faithfully through the next step. You do not need tomorrow's strength today. You need today's grace. You do not need answers to every question before you begin. You need enough faith to trust God with what you cannot understand. When fear tells you that everything depends on you, Remember that it does not. God is your source of strength. When anxiety tells you that you must predict every possible problem, remember that you can place the unknown future into God's hands. When disappointment tells you that one closed door means your future is over, remember that God can create opportunities you never expected. Start this day with an open heart and surrendered hands. Say, Lord, I give you my mind, I give you my plans, I give you my schedule, I give you my relationships, I give you my worries, I give you my future. Lead me wherever you want me to go. Then walk into the day with peace. Work diligently, but do not worship your work. Make plans, but do not become enslaved to them. Care for others, but do not try to control them. Dream boldly, but remain willing to trust God's direction. Face difficulties, but remember that difficulty does not mean God has abandoned you. At every point today, return your heart to surrender. When you feel overwhelmed, pray. When you feel uncertain, pray. When you feel disappointed, pray. When something wonderful happens, give thanks. Let surrender become more than a morning prayer. Let it become a way of living. You may not know what this day will bring, but you can enter it with confidence because God does. Place your mind in His hands, place your plans before Him, and place every hour of your day under His guidance. Trust Him with the parts you understand and the parts you cannot explain. Take one faithful step at a time, knowing that you do not have to walk into the future alone. So Lord, before this day gets busy, before the world demands my attention, before distractions begin competing for my mind, I choose you, Jesus. You are my first word today, and I pray that you will also be my first thought, my constant guide, my source of peace, and the center of everything I do. In your mighty name, Jesus, I pray, amen.